AJ to Beyond Your Horizon again. All right.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
You are okay. I
I,
see you don't got all like lined up and barbered and all of that.
yes, when you asked me to be on your show, I was like, okay, you really want me to go on camera? Like, hold on a minute. But I went and got my hair cut, got my little beard lined up so I can be my best self for you all.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, you always are your best self. I told you that before. You didn't have to go do all of that, you
But I want
know.
to make myself feel good too. So this is like my
Hmm.
self-care day. What have
Gotcha, gotcha. Do you find that you get more attention when you are lined up and trimmed or when you're looking regular? Like attention from like the like more interesting the parties, the gentlemen, or whoever you
Okay,
may
if
be
we're saying
attracted
that, I
to.
would have to say once I'm lined up, um, I feel like I can put my best self forward. You should always try to put your best self forward. And first impressions are all you have. So I like to always, when I'm going out on the social scene, make sure I have a fresh line, a fresh cut, what have you. And
Hmm.
that's just my thing.
Yeah, I like that too for myself. Yeah, I love that for myself. But I do find that I get more attention when I think I'm feeling scruffy, looking scruffy. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's when I usually get the most compliments.
I feel self-conscious in that stage because like I'm bald, but when the hair starts to grow back
Me
in, it's kind
too.
of like patchy. So you'll catch me with a hat or what have you. But yeah, I feel like I'm more myself and more comfortable when I'm freshly shaved and lined.
Hmm. Me too. I feel the
And just
same
the way
way.
that I was taught and the way that I was brought up.
All right. All right. I feel the same way. I feel better when I am cleaned up and shaved and I'm bald headed, just like you. And yeah, when
Mhm.
that hair starts growing back and you start to really see where areas where you were thinning, I
Yeah,
don't
that,
like
that,
that
that, that
feeling.
hairline, the temple.
Oh, mine's back here, honey.
Uh,
It's back here.
and the
It's
cowlick right there.
it's, it's back in the back.
Right.
It's back in the back. All right, cool. Well, I want to go ahead. Well, first, let me give a disclaimer to anybody who may be listening or watching that we are going to be talking about domestic abuse today. We are going to be specifically talking about what happened with Keke Palmer and her baby daddy, Darius Jackson. But if this conversation is something that is triggering for you, or you might want to hit skip on it. But if you're okay with listening to us engage in this topic, then feel free to keep on listening. We're all going to talk about that, but we also are going to just talk about domestic abuse in general. And AJ, once we're going to let him introduce himself as to why I wanted him to be in this conversation, because I do feel that he'll be able to give us some more maybe clinical insight of domestic abuse and how if anyone may be dealing with it, they can get help. Or for those of us who know people who are, we'll get into that toward the end. But first off, AJ, tell us about yourself. Who are you and your
Okay, well,
credentials?
hello everybody. I'm Anthony J, or as he calls me, AJ.
Mm-hmm.
I am a master's clinical mental health counseling student that will be graduating in December with my master's in clinical mental health counseling. I currently work as part of a clinical team where we provide crisis counseling for corporations or what have you. However, with my clinical experience, I have seen everything from domestic abuse, domestic violence, um, sex offenders, family therapy, everything from mood disorders to your psychotic disorders to substance abuse. So I've seen the whole gamut. However, my specialization is in African American families, African American individuals, LGBTQ, and yeah, I just want to help break that stigma surrounding mental health in the Black community. So if you ever need to talk to someone, I'll let you know where to find me.
All right, all right. Well, thank you for your work in that.
Thank you.
You're doing Jesus work. I like that.
Yeah, sometimes, but you don't want to get the Jesus complex because we can't save everybody. You have to know that everybody cannot be saved, but the more that we can reach and teach and touch, that's all right with me.
And when did you say you're going to graduate?
I will be graduating December 9th, 2023. Shout out to Fort Valley State University that has one of the best clinical mental health counseling programs around. And it's the number one HBCU in Georgia, ranked number one.
All right then. All right. All right. Well, shout out to them. And again, thank you for answering that call to be in that field. I have a very special place for therapists, teachers, a very special place in my heart that
Mhm.
is for people who make that choice to say, you know what, I'm going to do something that's going to actually help other people. A lot of y'all are not being paid what you are deserving of, and you
That is
make
true.
that, yep, and you make that sacrifice to say, I know I'm not going into a field that's going to make me filthy rich. It's not going to, do that, but I am going to
However,
be,
I can tell you
howsoever,
how to make the
however,
money.
comma.
It ain't just in seeing clients one on one. It ain't in just that. You get your money through consulting. You actually can also get your money through private practice. You can also get your money through an insurance company doing utilization management. You
Oh,
clear quick 6K if you know how to
okay.
work your
Six
work it.
figures, a good six
Mhm.
figures. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
my mentor did.
I may have to bring you back on so you can talk about that because
Okay.
everybody that I know that's in that field seems to be more like almost comparable to a starving artist or struggling,
Uh-huh.
and everything and stuff. So it's good to know that you can make a really good living by going into that field because maybe more people would be, more, wanting to do that if they knew
I'm
that they
currently
could
making more than
make a
some
good
starting
living.
therapists.
Oh, all right. You heard it here first, y'all. Don't sleep on those who are specializing in mental health, that you can make a career out of it. And it sounds like it can be very sustaining. So, all right. Good to know. All right. Before we get into the topic, I will have a little icebreaker question.
Yes.
The reason why this question came to my attention was because I was on Instagram the other day and I saw someone make this post. And
Okay.
the post was asking a question about was asking us to name two celebrities that most people hate, but you love. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that question.
Two celebrities that people hate
That most people,
that most people
yeah.
hate that I love. Okay. I would have to say Erica Badu. No, I take it back. Everybody love her. All right, I'm gonna go there. Summer Walker. Love
Okay.
her. A lot of people hate her or whatever. But I understand, all the complexities surrounding her or what have you. Another person that I would say that I like that most people hate. I'm gonna just have to tell a lie. Jennifer Hudson. A lot of people say she's screaming for what have you, but I love her.
I'm
And
most
yours.
people. I am most people on
You're
both
most
of
people.
those.
Okay.
On both of those answers that you said, I am most of those people. But it makes sense that you would like Summer Walker
Right.
because of her mental health issues, which I feel are a scam.
Oh, you know what?
but see,
We yeah, we about to go at
we
it. We
about to
about to
get
go at it.
into it because you
Let's just
already
go
know.
get to the topic already because you know what, but you gotta give your two first and then we're gonna get into it. Because you know what? Okay. First of all,
Yeah.
you didn't trash my damn profession. You just said, well, I compare it to a teacher or struggling artist.
Yes,
I was
people that
like,
I know, because people
no.
that I know, I'm just saying, the people who I
Okay.
know who have chosen social work as their
This is
main,
not social
well, I'm
work, baby.
sorry, social work,
This is mental
therapists,
health
and
counseling.
clinical, they talk
Right.
about, this is what I hear, they talk about how long it takes, to really get to a place where you're able to make a substantial living.
And
You
a
have to
lot of
write
people block
books
their
and you have to do
money
that.
because they don't get licensure once they get out. So you have people out here working somewhere as just a therapist, but you don't have the licensing behind it, so you can't demand your pay. I aspire to be more than just a clinical mental health counselor, honey. I'm going to the PhD program after this to do counseling,
Mm-hmm.
education, and supervision to train up the next generation of aspiring clinicians, especially my Black clinicians, because mental health manifests differently in us than what we're taught mostly, which is from a European perspective. So depression may look different in an African American woman than, let's say, a white man or a white woman. But
Got
let's
you.
go dive up in it.
No, but I want, but this is cool because I really want. That's why I wanted you to come on. Like I told you before,
Okay.
one, this is beyond your horizon, and and the reason why I called it that was because we all have a horizon. We only
Right.
have a limited way of seeing the world, and
Right.
sometimes it takes somebody who has a different perspective, who actually
Right.
are more educated in that topic, to actually help us to extend our horizons to see things a little more differently. And that's why I brought you on because of my very analytical and logical way of seeing the world, there are a lot of things that I don't get.
Okay.
And I got dragged recently, and and we'll talk about this. But let me give you my two first. Let me give you my two are one is Roseanne Barr. I
See,
love
let's just
So that part.
I'll end it right now. But
And and the other person, I was torn between either T.S. Madison or Giselle Bryant. And I do love, and everybody hates it when I say I love Giselle Bryant, but I love that woman. I am not a big fan of Atlanta Housewives. I want to watch a few episodes of Housewives of Potomac, but for some reason, I love that woman. If I was a female, I would probably be Giselle Bryant. I
I
love her.
mean, y'all got a lot in common. I mean, y'all churchy and you love the mess. So I'm just kind of
You
like,
know what? That might be
I
what it is.
mean,
But you know what? But what I love about, well, no, but see, I get that Giselle is just trying to keep the brand going, trying to keep the show interesting, trying to keep that
so
check
she trying to be
coming.
Mariah 2.0.
Maybe that, maybe that. And what you think about Roseanne Barr? You about to say something about her?
Roseanne has said some questionable stuff over the years.
Who
And we
hasn't?
have given her passes or what have you, but some of the behavior I just cannot excuse. But that's your girl or what have you. I'm just not on the Roseanne, train or what have you. So I would say that I'm most people for the ones that that you disclosed or what have you. That's your thing. You can have Grizzard, Giselle, and Roseanne, but yeah.
Yeah, we gotta do more shows together because I like how you don't think like me. But anywho, all right, let's get into that right there. So, all right, so again, if you're just tuning into this conversation, I want to remind you about to talk about domestic abuse. And if that topic is something that is triggering to you, you might not want to listen in on this episode. I'm going to be sharing my opinions and thoughts, and then AJ is going to be sharing his and what he knows from actually dealing with this. But the reason why we're talking about this is because of the recent, I guess, allegations that Keke Palmer has made about her baby daddy being abusive. Okay. For those of you who do not know Keke Palmer, I did put together some notes just in case. I don't want to assume everybody knows who Keke Palmer is. I don't know
It's
who listening.
Lauren.
Yes, Miss Lauren Kiana Palmer. Okay, she's an actress.
Sharon's daughter.
Sharon, yeah, Sharon's daughter.
We don't
Yes,
get it.
she is 30 years old. Her birthday is August 26th, just a few days after mine. I'm August 23rd. She's August 26th, so she's a Virgo. We know how to plot and think. But anywho, okay, she is
Bias.
no. Okay, this is just the bio.
I know.
She is
We'll
known for
get through it.
playing. She is known for playing both leading and character roles in comedy and drama productions. She has received several accolades, Primetime Emmy Awards. She's a five-time NAACP Image Awards. She was nominated for a Daytime Emmy Award, Screen Actors Guild Award. She was listed as Time Magazine's most influential people in the world in 2019. Now the movies I know her from are Aquila and the Bee. That was what, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Medea's Family Reunion. I remember her from that. And
Mm-hmm.
Nope by Jordan Peele. Do you have any like big movies or that you remember her, like when you hear Keke Palmer? What is there anything that you really think that comes to your mind?
See, I guess I would say I'm a Keke Palmer kind of like I'm a little stand for her. I remember Nope. I remember Pimp, where she played a lesbian pimp or what have you. I remember her in Hustlers. I also remember her in Keelan and the Bee. Um, True Jackson VP from Disney Channel or what have you. And I remember her having her first ever show on BET. And also when she came to Good Morning America. No, it wasn't Good Morning America 3. It was actually with her with yeah,
Strahan, Sarah, and Keke.
yeah. Hmm.
Okay, okay,
And she's
yeah,
a fashion
yeah.
icon. She's a moment.
She's a fashion icon. She's all of that.
It's Kiki,
Another
it's your girl. Right. From the Met Gala.
um, oh yeah, that's
And
right.
straight
That's right.
Atlanta. Straight Atlanta.
hmm Personal life. Let's go into it. I remember this happening. So in February 2017, during an interview with Wendy Williams, she was asked about her sexuality, and she's kind of sexually fluid.
Hmm.
She had her reply was, "Yeah, I like whoever loves me. Love is defined by the individual, and what I feel today is not what I necessarily may feel 5 years from now. I don't want to limit myself to one feeling or one idea of anything." She's
Hmm.
also been very transparent about her own mental health issues. She struggled with anxiety and depression. In 2019, as part of the You Know Me campaign, she shared via Twitter that she had an abortion at the age of 24.
Mhm.
Palmer has dealt with polycystic ovary syndrome her entire life. While hosting Saturday Night Live on December the 3rd, 2022, Palmer announced she was pregnant with her first child with her boyfriend at that time, her baby daddy, Darius Jackson. Their
Mhm.
son was born in February 2023. Palmer and Jackson have separated in October of 2023 following a series of alleged incidents surrounding domestic violence throughout their relationship. And that just brings us into the topic of again, domestic abuse and why we are having this conversation. Now, this has been a very viral moment. It's been shared all over social media, Instagram, Facebook, I'm sure, Twitter. And there was a post on Instagram. I think it was B. Scott that put the post up. Basically, this was maybe what was this like? What was it? Thursday night, Friday when it first
I think
happened?
it came out Friday night or something like that.
I think Friday. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And B. Scott, love you can follow B. Scott on Instagram at Love B. Scott. The caption was Keke Palmer restraining order. I mean, Keke Palmer files restraining order against Darius Jackson. Palmer accused Jackson of abusing her multiple times over the course of their 2-year relationship in court documents filed on Thursday. Palmer described one incident as Jackson was lunging for my neck, striking me, throwing me over the couch, and stealing my phone. Palmer is also requesting sole custody of their 8-month-old son, Leotis, as previously reported. That was the caption. There was a picture of Keke Palmer and of Darius Jackson. And I made a comment under that because when I read it, it kind of triggered me a little bit to the point of saying, like, hold up. I take a pause whenever I see a post like this.
Okay.
I say, and that was my comment. I was said, I take a pause with this. I said, because I follow Keke, I follow her on like social media and on YouTube. There, she has a podcast where that her and her baby daddy do together. And so whenever someone is portraying their relationship to be all good and you know everything is good, and then when something happens and now we are supposed to now believe that, oh, that was all a lie, but this is actually the truth. The truth is this person has been abusing me. I take a pause to that because I wonder, like, is this becoming a problem now because you want something out of this because you want to end it and you want full custody? Like, what, is there something else behind this story?
Mhm.
And there are a lot of people I even see on today who kind of have those thoughts. One person I see just commented 2 days ago, girl, you all was just together, and why you just now talking about this? If y'all want to be over, then so be it. But to take that man child from him, I think is wrong. Somebody made that comment 2 days ago, and we're going to get
Mhm.
into this thing because my comments, triggered a lot of people.
Mhm.
AJ included, because he came on and was like, Jonathan, nah, da 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 da. And I'm gonna let you say exactly what you
Okay.
said. And then let me tell you, and then a lot of the women, they dragged my ass. They dragged me, called me a clown, and saw, I guess
They do.
they
They
saw
do.
on my bio that I was a manifestation coach, and they said you need to manifest some compassion because you don't know what you yada 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 and stuff. And I still held fast to my opinion. It doesn't
Mhm.
change my opinion. But what I want you to first, I want you to tell, your when you were brought to this conversation. And in that also, I want you to, be honest and let me know why my comment can be problematic.
Okay. I was brought to the conversation because I'm gonna be for real. I was just kind of like, what the hell did John just say? Did he know he's going to open up a can of worms? Because in the beginning, it seemed a little bit kind of like victim shaming to me. And so I came from the perspective of we don't know the situation or her lived experience, what she experienced, up until now. And I was telling you, sometimes people have to come to a breaking point or almost near death. Some people do come to that and they don't make it out. but they have to come to a breaking point of finally saying, I've had enough. And
Mhm.
that's with anybody in therapy. Therapy doesn't work unless the person wants to help themselves. And maybe she wanted to help herself at this moment. If we go back to the evidence that was presented, we saw that there's a still from a video that was done in like 2022 or what have you. And so what came to mind when you said if this has been going on, maybe she's been an active participant in it. People who have experienced domestic violence or whatever learn to put on a mask to actually save themselves. And so what they'll do is they'll deny and act like things are perfect in their relationship to avoid getting beat, hit, or what have you behind closed doors. And also we also see in this population PTSD or signs of depression or anxiety can manifest in these people as well. So there's a lot to take into consideration. Also, we don't know what type of lived experience that Darius experienced as a child or what have you. Studies have proven that people who engage in violent behavior, who are domestic abusers, are products of their environment. If they weren't taught how to regulate their emotions, how to stay on one instead of going all the way to 10, if they see how their parents dealt with conflict or what have you by resulting in violence, they're more than likely to will result in using violence. So that's we don't know what happened or what have you. But I'm just saying from a clinical standpoint, most people who are abusers, it comes from their lived experience or what they learned while they were growing up in their household.
And people who are abused,
And the people who are abused.
they also have what?
They also can have traumatic experiences as well because they might not know boundaries or what have you. So they may think that, okay, well, since I saw my mom got beat, this is acceptable. So when he puts his hands on me or when she puts her hands on me or what have you, since I saw this in the past, this is what I've been conditioned to believe is true.
Mm-hmm. And so when I come from the perspective and people say victim blaming, and I'm okay with that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually okay with that, with saying that, because yes, you do play a part in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, your mental health issues that lead you to being abused is just like the mental health issues that the abuser is also putting onto you. You both have mental health issues and you both are participating in this dysfunction and you both need to seek help. Now, again, I don't know that, and just like how you said, I like saying with me, the reason why I put a pause on this whole thing was
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know the details. Now, women, let me tell you, the women who were coming after me for my opinion and were very, very verbally abusive.
Okay.
So, and I think I told you about this, is that we often talk about this patriarchal society and how it makes toxic masculinity and men think that they have to be dominant and leaders. But we don't talk about how this patriarchal society has also placed women as solely victims and weak and defenseless. And a lot of women have used that to their advantage to attack men, to actually to say that, oh no, like we don't know what happened in their relationship. I think about Chris Brown and Rihanna
Mm-hmm.
when it came out. Of course, we are not supporting domestic violence and what Chris Brown did to Rihanna. But when conversations started to come out, we learned that they had a very toxic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
Rihanna was hitting Chris was hitting Rihanna. If nobody, it was very toxic on both ends. Now, yes, we can say, well, a man is stronger than a woman, or a man can do more than to a woman than a woman can do to a man. That may or may not always be true. I remember when I was in the fourth grade and girls were beating up on me, and I couldn't. I was in my little bitty ass, but you can't hit them because you're a man, you know. And so a lot of women do hide behind the patriarchal system to say, "Oh, I'm weak, I'm defenseless. Someone did this to me," and so therefore I'm always going to be the victim. So if that makes me a victim blamer because I think that everyone should be accountable for their mental health, because in this society, we think that we can just raise the flag of mental health and that means I'm no longer accountable. That's not what that means. Because once you become aware of your issue, of your mental health issue, you now have a responsibility to work on your mental health issue. That's what I feel like, you know. That's why me and your girl, we go back, your girl, but she is doing better. Your girl, what's her name? You say that you like
Summer.
Summer. Because yes, when you are aware that, oh, I have social anxiety and I have these things, yada, yada, yada. Well, I need you to work on that. And I do feel that she is working on that. Her performances are gotten a lot better, you know, but at the same time, there was a point in time where I felt like, you know, you're taking advantage of your people who are paying good money to see you and for you to sit on a stool and act like you don't want to talk to them. You know, like you need to work on that, mama. You know, but yeah, but mental health does not give you an excuse. It does not give you an excuse to beat anyone, and it does not give you an excuse to be beaten either.
That is
No,
true.
no. So that's where my state point of mind is. Yeah,
Okay.
with that.
I can definitely, see where you're coming from or what have you. Um, However, if we go back to what everybody should have been taught while they were children, you keep your hands to yourself. So
Oh yeah, you
why did
should.
it have to result in him striking her? Or why do they have if they strike each other, why do we have to get to that far? Get to
Why do
that
we have
point.
to get there? Why do we have to get there?
So
Yes.
therapy helps people to learn how to regulate their emotion. I just got through teaching an anger management class where we learn about anger and
Mm-hmm.
aggression. Anger is what you feel, aggression is the behavior that you do after you get angered or what have you. And so in that training, we learn how to stop from going from 1 to 10. 10 is explosive, and when you're actually going to actually make contact with somebody and dealing with the repercussions behind that. So if we were taught, or if we lived in a perfect world, everybody would keep their hands to themselves. But unfortunately,
True.
they don't, and then they have to come and see me because it's been court appointed or what have you. Yeah.
Yeah.
People fell in love with Keke because Keke's America's sweetheart, of course, or what have you. Now let's just say, let's play devil's advocate. Let's just say, since you done said, okay, you villainizing this man and woo woo woo,
I'm not trying
and
to say I'm villainizing that man. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not
you said you
villainizing
didn't
him.
want her to villainize
Okay, I
him.
did. Yes. Okay, I did say. Well, I said we should not be
Oh,
villainizing him because
okay.
I can definitely understand if you
Right, right.
want something out of this. This is the card that you play. I'm
Okay.
not saying that because we don't know if they've hit each other. We don't know. All we know, and we did see a still showing
Mm-hmm.
Darius attacking her, and
Mm-hmm.
I did find an article where it went more into some of these
Since you
allegations,
finding articles,
which are heinous, which are
yeah,
very,
since you
very
finding
heinous.
articles, let's talk about when he said, "I see why some animals eat their children." Baby, what is really going on with you? That is not normal for you to even run through the back of your mind, what have you. Maybe this was her
Um,
way.
okay. Well, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
People should have safe spaces in their relationships or in their among each other to say those
Whatever they want to
things,
say.
whatever they
Okay.
want to say. I do. If there was a video or a camera or audio recording of me talking to my friends and shit, and the things that we say, would be like, if you just took it out of that content of what I said, you'd be like, Jonathan, you need to go see somebody because we
But
can, because no, I'm serious, because, and
okay.
I've heard women say, like, like you see women having these conversations, they don't do it, but being like, girl, I thought about, dropping my child off at the firehouse a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they've done it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've seen people like women just being transparent on podcasts, like, child, I wish I didn't have these kids. Like if I had it to do over, I would have chose abortion. And it's okay for them to have that conversation amongst themselves as women, as girls in safe spaces. So I don't really think that him making no, if you just hear that comment, of course, like you would say that's wrong to think. But
Mm-hmm.
but hey, as a parent of a dog, there are times I'm like, like, well, at the early stage, especially, be like, I'm about to take you to a neighborhood and drop you off. Did I do it? No, but but,
Right.
but I've had those moments, and if we are real with ourselves, we think about shit. We think about things. Don't mean we act
Mm-hmm.
on them.
That is
It
true.
doesn't. It does not mean that. So no, I'm not. I can't just say because he said that that is something that I've seen. Women postmortem is real. And shoot, the things our parents, some of our parents, my grandmama didn't tell me that, but there are some
Mm-hmm.
parents who tell their kids, and I'm about to beat you. I brought you in this world. I'll take you out. You come
I
over here
remember
with that again. I'm
those
going,
comments or what have
right. I will
you.
kill you. I will do
I
that.
never had that.
But there are some parents who do,
Right.
who are that, and they're verbally assaulting of their children. They say shit that if you just record it and play to the police, you're going to jail.
That is true, but if you're gonna talk about eating the child or whatever, I'm gonna be like, okay, bitch, you're a little crazy. The other things, yeah, but when it's talking about like you talking about hammering my child or whatever, I guess from a parenting, I'm a nurturer or what have you. I
Mm-hmm.
got a dog baby too. I would never think about, oh my God, I was just off you or whatever. But yeah, going back, looking at the stuff that you pulled it up or whatever, that stuck out to me when he said about eating the
Yeah,
child, animals
he
eating
did
their
say,
kids or what have you.
yeah.
But yeah,
And let me so there was one incident in February 2022
okay.
described by Palmer. Um, she says Jackson, Darius Jackson, became enraged when she showed him a bikini photo of herself while they were at a friend's party. She says Darius spent the rest of the night yelling at me, not letting me sleep so he could keep yelling at me. She said in the filing, in the bedroom, he slammed me on the floor and slapped my head from side to side. The next morning, he was standing at the bottom of the stairs near the front door, screaming at me as I was coming down the stairs. When I was almost at the bottom of the stairs, he grabbed me around the neck and body slammed me back onto the stairs.
Oh,
Now,
my.
I will say, after reading this article and really getting into the details of the violence that was going on in there, I am not supporting Darius Jackson in any
Okay.
way. Like,
Okay.
this is crazy shit. But you do have to always ask these questions of, like, again, why were you there? Because these things have happened from your state, from your mind, a while. And I think I even shared with you too, and you can speak on this
Sure.
too, because I was saying to you, like, in Keke's situation is different because she is the breadwinner and she's
Okay.
always been control of the narrative. And so I felt like this is not Ike and Tina, where Tina didn't have any money, a pot to piss in, nowhere to go. This is Keke Palmer, who has all the resources and all the things to escape. But you share from what you have learned, like even in situations where the woman is actually able to leave, or we think she is. Why would someone subject themselves to this?
Some people are just afraid to leave. We don't know what type, well, we do know that, physical violence was actually involved and physical abuse. We don't know if there was emotional abuse. Emotional abuse comes different ways. It can be the way that you talk to somebody. It can also be you withholding access. That could be access to the car, to the money, what have you. We don't know what's going on in their houses. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Things are different. But like I said, people have to get to that breaking point. Sometimes, securing the bag, whatever, wanting people to fall in love with her. Maybe sometimes she wanted to secure her bag by keeping her mouth shut to prevent her from getting her ass beat so she can go out there and make these appearances or what have you. We don't know what that woman was subjected to behind closed doors. So we should allow her a little bit of grace and, as far as that is concerned. But like I said, some women don't even have a contingency plan. We suggest that people who are in abusive relationships to plan a safety plan, which is you have a bag stored somewhere, you have some money stored here or there, whatever. Whenever you feel like the time is right for you to move, you need to have a trusted friend that you can call. You need to have some place that you can stay or where you can drop the kids off or whatever. You need to have an exit strategy and plan to leave that situation. And a lot of women don't have that. Or you have it, but you fear the repercussions if you try. I also read somewhere where he came to her house unannounced, just let himself into the house. So we don't know if he's just coming over whenever, she might have kicked him out or whatever. You still come over. So we don't actually know. But all the evidence, the video stills or whatever are showing a woman that's being abused. We're seeing in the deposition in the filing that she said he came in, jumped on her, hit her, strike her in the head. I remember reading somewhere he was getting mad and was angry and shouting at the baby while he was trying to change the baby's diaper.
I saw that.
And she came in and was kind of like, what's going on? I'll do it or what have you, because she feared for her child. And just for coming in, trying to make sure her child is okay, she got knocked upside her head.
Correct. Correct.
Seems like Darius don't know how to regulate his emotions. Seems like Darius uses violence to express his emotions. Seems like Darius needs some therapy.
Sounds like Keke needs some therapy too.
Keke needs some therapy too because of what she's been through or whatever.
Yeah.
Why did she allow it? Where is this
Yeah.
coming from?
Yeah.
Something happened in your childhood.
And I do applaud Keke. Like, maybe it was her having a child to say, you know what? This is something ain't right here that, I can't accept this because, you did this to me and I was messed up in the head and accepted it. But maybe, the fact that now I brought a child into this and I don't want my child to be in this. And maybe this was the catalyst that you said, okay, that was enough.
Exactly.
And let me get out. So I do respect Keke for taking that stand, that stand and saying that, okay, maybe this is where we stop.
Exactly.
So yes, most definitely, applaud her for doing this. I do hope Darius seeks help as well. I'm trying to see, I was Googling to see if he has made any response at all to these allegations, and I couldn't find anything. I know his brother had I know his brother had made a
you posted and deleted
deleted it because what's her name, Sharon, got into
Miss Sharon.
And Miss Sharon, let me tell you, I
She'll
don't like
never come out, y'all. She'll never come out.
She'll never come out and say shit, but the thing is, I've seen Miss Sharon on the podcast with Keke and her baby daddy.
Here we go.
Canoodling
Go
and kicking and carrying on with the both of them, giving them both accolades for who they were in their relationship and yada, 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 only to now come out and say, when his brother spoke out, to then say, your brother's been abusive and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, well, bro, I just saw you on a video with them, on a video podcast with them. Like, what is your mindset that says that it's okay for you to participate in this portrayal of a relationship that is okay and good when deep down it is abusive? And so it is likely, just how you stated, that maybe Keke saw her mom go through this same thing, and that her mom was like, well, that's just how men are. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But at the end of the day, when you and I both can agree that, like, one, keep your hand to yourself.
Exactly.
No one should be abusing anyone mentally, physically, or any of that. But also, if you are the person that is receiving the abuse, you need to check yourself too, because no one here, you have to be accountable for yourself and for your own safety. And if you let someone treat you a certain way, you are telling them that it's okay. If AJ comes on and cusses me out, and I keep hanging around him, but every time I come around him, he cusses me out and I don't say anything about it, I can't fault him and then call him out one day and say, well, AJ said this to me. It's like, bitch, I've been saying that to you and you ain't never said nothing about it. Like, you told me it was all right. So basically, that's all we're saying. We both need to be held accountable for that. For that. All right. Anything you want to say more about that topic before we just kind of wrap this up by?
If you're in an abusive situation, there's always hope. Please, look into your local women's shelters or shelters for men, women, and children, what have you. There are resources out there for people who are experiencing domestic violence. There's a domestic violence hotline as well. So
that's good. That is very
and
good.
Also get into therapy. You need to recover from what all you've experienced, that trauma.
Yes. I totally agree with you there. Like, anybody who is listening to this who is in a situation where you are being abused, you ain't got to be a victim your whole life. You don't have to. And so what is some things that you can tell? Let's say there's somebody listening who knows someone who is in an abusive relationship, what should what should they do? Because I know that, I've known people who were in those kind of relationships,
Mhm.
and when you speak up and you say something, you become the bad guy. You can't
Exactly.
even you can't even get in to defend that person, because that person will jump up and defend the abuser
They
over
will.
you. So what advice can you give to someone who knows of someone who is being abused?
I would say to always be an open ear, a sounding board for them or whatever. Don't push, well, I think you should leave them, what have you. A person has to come to that decision on their own or what have you. Because, I've seen situations where people have tried to intervene that drove them back to the abusive partner or whatever and severed the relationship or what have you. Like I said, you have to be ready to make a change, and change is not going to happen until that person has had a breaking point or come to the point where I'm tired of this. Be a supportive friend, be a listening ear, assist them if they need you to create that safety plan with them, to plan their, escape for that situation, what have you. And if they come to you and tell you that they're ready to move forward and leaving, assist them, but don't try to rush them into it if they're not ready.
What about to the abuser? If someone is listening here that has, maybe they are the abuser, what have you learned in your studies of how do you get them to stop?
They're not going to stop until either A, they get in trouble with the law and they're forced to stop because they're locked away, or they have to want to stop and they have to seek therapy to figure out why they result in violence, why there is a problem with aggression, why is there an issue with boundaries, why do I react the way that I do? Is this
Mm,
something that I was taught or something that I was learned from my childhood? If what I experienced in childhood, oh, daddy hits mommy because she talks back or whatever. So when I grew up, when my girl talks back, I hit her. You have to unlearn those faulty thought processes right there. You have to unlearn those concepts. Okay, when I get angry, I hit. No, we use cognitive behavioral therapy to retrain and to think of alternatives to resulting in violence. And also it'll help with healing too, because a lot of this is unhealed trauma from childhood.
mm. It's good stuff. This is good stuff, and I think it is good that I'd ask that question, because I know a lot of times, we do focus on those who are being abused, and we don't focus on those who are actually doing the abusing. And that is something we need to kind of make more content for. We need to
And
make more content for
that
people
is.
who, right, to people who are actually the abuser, to be like, you got to be aware of your shit,
And
people.
I just had a thought too.
Oh, go
Like a
ahead.
lot of men are misdiagnosed, undiagnosed with intermittent explosive disorder, which results in you acting out. Like what you saw, a lot of people would diagnose Will Smith when he slapped Chris Rock. So a lot of men are diagnosed with that. And so when you see that in them, you see that they have a history of violence. So it's unlearning those unhealthy habits or what have you. Just want to put that
Mm,
out there too. So
that's good. That's good. And being aware of your shit.
yeah,
Be aware of your stuff, y'all. Be aware of your stuff, and know why you do what you do.
what you do.
What you do. That's very good. That's a good little takeaway there. Know why you do what you do. All right. We're going to close out this conversation. Where can they find you?
You can find me here in Conyers, Georgia at
All right.
ARP Counseling. I am on staff there. I do all types of counseling. I do substance abuse. I do sex offender. I do marriage counseling. I do individual counseling, mood disorders, psychotic disorders. I see it all.
Okay. You said ARP? Was
Yes,
it
ARP counseling.
ARP counseling in
Yep.
Conyers, Georgia?
Conyers.
Conyers. You do any like virtual
We also do
sessions and
virtual. I'm
stuff?
sorry. That's also since COVID. We've been also offering services virtually through our portal online or through Zoom. So
Okay. All right. So you take all forms of healthcare. You do any payment
we
plans for
do.
people who's
We
on
also
that?
do self-pay. We also do insurance plans as well. We do everything. We do social evaluations. We do mental health status examinations. We do everything under the sun.
Right. All right. Well, make sure. Yeah, I'll get that information for you so I can put
Okay.
that in the show notes.
I'll send it.
So I do hope that something that was said in this dialogue maybe will help someone. You know,
Mhm.
not only those who are abused, but those who are the abuser. Like, you know, I I get it. I know what it's like to be angry. I know what it's like to be triggered. But we do need to have a healthy outlet for those things.
We
We
do.
need to be able to walk away, whether you're walking away before you hit somebody or you walk away because you don't want to be hit. But both of those are valid. We need to learn how to walk away. And wish the best for Keke Palmer, and especially for this baby who
Yes, we
had
do.
no choice in any of this. He don't know what's going on.
Do it for the
Um,
children. If you're in that type of situation, you have kids, save yourself and your children.
and your children. All right. You have any like upcoming events that people should know about or anything to be on the lookout for?
Let's see. I will be doing a continuing education on counseling sensitivity for counselors, along with my associates from my office. I also have a chapter coming out in a book on counseling men, and it's going to focus on counseling Black LGBTQ since
Okay.
post-pandemic. So we're also
Okay.
going to look at, examining how depression manifests or mental health disorders, specifically depression and anxiety, manifest in Black gay men and the psychosocial stressors such as homelessness, HIV status, those things, how that affects and can either manifest or exacerbate those conditions and how to effectively work with these population. Also, aging Black gay men as well. So I'm going to
Mhm.
cover a whole lot of different things in that chapter and how to best work with that population.
Awesome, awesome. I definitely want to have you come back on and talk about the aging
Okay.
of the LGBTQ
Okay.
because as I am, yeah, I like to say this sounds
Yeah,
strange
we
for me
we
to
we
say
we
that.
we slowly, we slowly ascending up there.
We are
We
ascending.
are
We are climbing Jacob's ladder. And
climbing Jacob ladder.
okay, go ahead,
Just a little
honey.
bit.
It's
I can harmonize
Sunday.
just a little bit.
I see. I heard that. I heard that. But yeah, and those are things. There are things that we do need to think about because for aging for us looks different than aging for
It does.
our hetero counterparts. You know, some of us don't have kids and things like that, so we
Some
have
of
to
us don't
think
have
about
partners.
have partners. We're singles, and so we gotta think about what do we need to be thinking about. And I can imagine what that does to our mental health too, causes some
Ooh.
of us to settle, some of us to be in
Some of us are
situations
stuck.
and are stuck or yes, yeah, oh wow, yeah. So yeah, that's a whole nother
It's a
conversation.
whole other conversation. Some of y'all still stuck in them glory heydays. And I'm like, baby, you're knocking on 50's door. I think we need to change your mindset a little bit.
You said glory hole days. What you say?
I ain't gonna glory.
Well,
Some of them still doing that too. Some of them, baby. They,
anywho, we ain't gonna
like,
judge
you
nobody.
too old to be bent over them park benches, baby. I'm just saying.
I ain't age shaming nobody on here. All right, you all. Thank you all for listening or watching. Don't forget to like, share, rate, subscribe, do all the things to show us some love. And yeah, and that will be it for this conversation. All right.
I want to come back again and talk with y'all.
You'll be back.
Bye, y'all.